Wardell and Jared Emmett, currently in Leap of Faith, and we're going to be taking a backstage tour, and they're going to be showing us everything. So come join me as we follow Leap of Faith.
Nothing stands in your way. Listens in close.
Hi, I'm Brandon Wardell,
I'm Jared Emmett, and we're with Leap of Faith.
and we're here with Neal B.
Yeah.
First of all, if you guys could just tell us just a little brief bio on all your fantastic careers so far.
I started out touring with Les Mis back in 1990. I moved up to Saigon, moved up to Damn Yankees, Rocky Horror, Ring of Fire, Boy from Oz. I did Full Monty over in the West End, and gosh, yeah. And now hopefully we'll bring Leap of Faith.
I started out in James Joyce's The Dead, my Broadway debut with Christopher Walken. It was really fun. Thoroughly Modern Millie was the first time I worked with Rob Ashford, who obviously is our director and choreographer here. Ended up with Assassins. It was a great experience, good vibrations. And now here, working on Leap of Faith, and hopefully working on this at the next level, whatever that may be.
Now, first of all, congratulations to you guys. You just had your opening night, and it must have been so thrilling. So what is it like for those people that haven't experienced that, of just getting on the stage of an opening night and looking out and just seeing a tremendous audience of fans, celebrities that have just come to kind of just cheer you guys on?
Like, you have to, like, I keep, every opening night, it's like, you just try to, like, keep it calm. Try to find that calm place, because everything else is so jacked up.
It's also, for me, it's like a steam kettle. On that night, you get to sort of release and see, what all the hard work has come to, and you get a lot of relief from having it be there, and this thing you've been working for 6 weeks of rehearsal and 3 or 4 weeks of previews. So it's kind of a relief too.
For people that are not familiar with the show Leap of Faith, if you could just give a brief synopsis of what it's about and tell our audience, really why it's so great and why it's so relevant right now.
It's loosely based on a 92 movie, starred Steve Martin, Deborah Winger. And we have the same screenplay writer who wrote our book, Janice Cerconi. And she's assisted by Glenn Slater, and of course with Alan Menken. But it basically follows that. Ours is more of a theatrical piece. There are some turns that they take in the movie that we don't take in the show, just to kind of like stay focused on Jonas's journey and Marva's journey.
Yeah.
It's really, there's something in there that's really like, it touches on a really like deep level. It's not really about religion, and it's not even really about faith, really, either. I think it's like about like love.
At the heart of this, I think they, I guess in a roundabout way, the show is about this man who comes to town with his group of people who are traveling the country looking for the next victim, as it were, in their sort of con. And we happen upon, I'm a member of this choir. My character Amos is one of Jonas's henchmen, as it were. And we come to town, a very small town. We end up breaking down, and we end up running into this guy right here, who Will Braverman is the
Town sheriff.
Well, he's the sheriff, but he's also represents, I think, a more conservative view, a more home sort of, for me, looking at what he represents. He's very conservative. He's very, what do you say about
It's practical.
You don't make deals.
I don't make deals.
You don't haggle.
I don't haggle, and I don't make deals.
He's a very straightforward kind of guy who says what he means and means what he says. And I think it's a great foil for Jonas.
I'm one of the obstacles for Jonas.
A huge obstacle. They come to town and hoping to make some money, and what they end up making is a love story. So in the end, who knows what happens? I hope you come see the show and you find out exactly what happens at the end.
Doing a show based on a movie, does it make it easier or harder to garner fans?
I think it's nice for audiences that at least that there's some familiarity. I think that's really important, especially like now in shows, and it's like kind of what we're focusing on almost in our like opening number. It's like, because that has to like tell, you almost kind of have to inform people what they're about to see. I think it's important that we have a film that people know, that people have seen, and they're going, oh, I know this like story, so it'll like kind of come back to them kind of in a new way.
Yeah, and it's also different enough to where it doesn't necessarily.
Yeah.
It's like you can see the movie, you don't need to see the film, or you don't need to see the play. You just look at the film, but it's different enough to where it really gives you something new and something fun to be a part of.
But I liked the movie, and I loved Liam Neeson, who played the sheriff in the film, and essentially that's all I channel is him. You know, I think he was brilliant.
How is being in a new show different than going into a national tour that's already had maybe 10 different cast replacements before you, starting with doing something that's really just so innovative and just starting from scratch and kind of building on workshops and doing, this and hopefully leading up to Broadway?
It's a very different process. I mean, we have the opportunity to see the nuts and bolts of how theater is made. I mean, I myself have been involved with a couple of different workshops of the show, and I know that it's changed tremendously even from then to when we started the first day of rehearsal here. We've come quite a long way. The story, in a very basic way, the show was really, really long when we started because there's a lot of material, there are a lot of things, and part of what that is managing how we tell the story, streamlining. Rob has really talked about streamlining and making sure that we're telling the story in a focused way. Jared hit on that as far as how Jonas's journey ends up in this show as being very focused. We're focusing in on that. And frankly, for me, it's a lot more exciting because you're part of something that's never been before, and you're not compared to anyone else. They're not saying, oh, you didn't do it like, whoever. Brian Stokes Mitchell did this, and you're doing this now, and it's very different. So it's fun, it's challenging.
This musical has a lot to do with hope, and again, as you said, love, and where it really takes you. And the title kind of says it all with Leap of Faith. And when the audience leaves, and they've been reacting so positively, can you share any of the themes, the central themes that really have come into play in the piece, and also if you have any stories about the reaction, the audience reaction?
My through line is that I give like forgiveness. Well, to me, I give Jonas, what Sheriff Will gives Jonas is like once Jonas repents and says, that I'm sorry and does the right thing, then I give him like immediate and sincere forgiveness. And I think on a not on a religious level, but I think if you are brought up very in a religious background, like I think that touches you, like the goodness of people, like even if you slap them, it's like that turn the other cheek mentality, and that even if you ask for forgiveness, you will be, and if you show you want forgiveness, you'll be given it to it immediately, immediately and sincerely. Yeah.
I think the audience enjoys the journey that our characters go through in the show, particularly for that reason of actually, as corny as it may sound, taking that leap of faith. Our characters within the show are continuously asked to take leaps of faith and trust that our lives are going to end up in the right place. We're trusting Jonas's guidance. We're trusting Ricky's guidance. We're trusting Will Braverman's guidance. So we're going through and really having to listen to these people that we have to trust. And I think that transcends into religion and God and all these things within the context of the show. But on a practical level, the characters in the show are also being asked to trust Will Braverman and his drill to get them water to save their town. So it's very real.
Can you just tell us a little bit for those people that might not be familiar with the creative team and really the people involved making this so great?
Donald Holden is the lighting designer. Robin Wagner is the set designer. Rob Ashford, our director and choreographer and leader. William Ivy Long did the wardrobe.
You can't get much better than that.
Yeah, so like I said, we still have Ron. We have Raul, of course, as our leader, our fearless leader. He's fantastic.
Our producers are amazing. The Frankel Green, the group is been amazing. This Center Theater Group has been so helpful.
Yeah,
in
this
process
was a first for me
and
too, doing
wonderful.
theater in Los Angeles. Too.
Yeah.
And they've been fantastic and so nice to us too.
Yeah.
It's a completely like different experience.
It's been a really great place to play
Yeah.
because I think that for the creative process, for Rob, for us, for everyone involved, you have to have a sandbox that feels safe and fun, and this place has really been that. And I think bringing all those talented people that obviously have enormous achievements. I mean, we haven't even mentioned your astonishing achievement with Damn Yankees, and like it's just, you know, I'm completely thrilled to be here every day and lucky to, you know, work with and continue to work with. We've got a project coming up in the not too distant future.
Just Loveless, Texas.
And this show must have started. I mean, Janice the other night was a very, very touching sentiment. She was just saying that when she had this dream, she woke up with these characters for the story in her head. That, you know, on opening, just seeing that come to life on the stage was a different experience than the film, even because you're there in the room and seeing it.
And she said, even I think she's even been quoted in a couple interviews too, that even while like she was on the set of that film, Leap of Faith, they looked at each other. Her and her husband Michael Mannheim looked at each other and said, "There's a musical in this here. There's a musical in this show." So I think it's I absolutely, and I believe that. I'm looking forward to continuing work on this piece, as well as I think everybody else is too. So.
Sure. Who knows? It may become a movie musical someday.
Yeah.
That's what seems to
That seems
to be happening.
The way things are going.
Oh, I'm sorry, and we should probably too. I once like mentioned it's little guy, you know, that you'll hear a lot about. Alan Menken, who wrote the score.
Oh yes, of course.
You'll probably yeah.
That
I
Academy
think he has
something guy.
I think he's the Academy Award has the most of ever in all time.
In the universe
of ever.
Listening to the music I've heard from this is so catchy, and it's so I want to just say it's so cheesy, but Alan Menken-esque. You know, you just get you kind of like dancing in your seats, and I think that too is one of the great draws to this. That, you know, that there is. That able to have such a great storyline, and he does so well is really take a story and really tell it through song in such a catchy way, but also, you know, really weaves that story through his songs.
It's great stuff to work on and to perform every night. I'll tell you that.
It'll be the one of the big thrills for me is if and when and to and how when we do this cast album that I like actually get to like lay down an Alan Menken tune. That's cool. I've got a couple on Broadway cast albums, but essentially everything I've done has been done before, has been recorded before. So this is like for me. This is like a first, and that it's an Alan Menken tune. I'm like.
Well, we appreciate you guys joining us. Thank you so much. And in just a few minutes, we're gonna really quickly take a look backstage.